What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Full disclosure, me and Mills used to actually talk quite a bit. I always try to reach out to especially local community members. However, we haven't talked for a while. And just to let you guys know the truth of the matter, he disagreed with the fact that I post my views publicly. That I will come out in an effort to appreciate the people that support my channel and show you, hey, 30, 40,000 views in a day or 2 days, and express to you that I appreciate you spending your time with me, because to be honest, you could spend it anywhere you wanted. Now, some people understand that that's just someone being supportive and showing an appreciation. Other people feel that's being, braggadocious or promoting yourself. Either way, that's the way it went. He took it one way, I meant it another way. It is what it is. However, he's a very well-respected person from the Madden standpoint in the Twitch world. I'm not a live streamer, right? I don't know that world. I don't know how hard that is. I don't want to know. I'm a YouTuber. So I respect what he's brought to that community. I respect that he did at one point, or maybe even still has a relationship with EA. I don't know. We really don't talk, as I said. But he does come out and say, top streamer on Twitch playing NCAA 14, you watching sports games, remember to keep telling us how franchise modes don't matter. Us, obviously meaning the community. And one of my viewers actually responded in line. And I think this is where EA starts to hurt a content creator, because the user, right, the community member doesn't know who to blame. Do I blame EA for the poor product, or do I blame the person that's telling me this? So he shares these messages, this communication that him and Mills had 2 years ago, August 16, 2018, where he says to him, let's talk about franchise mode. What other game allows online franchise? And that the reports were, in 2018, the contract requests were most likely going to be fixed. Bugs like the Pro Bowl backup lineman, remember they would get selected to the Pro Bowl and it was a backup left guard, that those were going to get fixed in title updates this year. And this, to me, is really where we start to blur that line, right? This is somebody in the community. This could be me, coming out and saying, hey, this game company is going to fix this. They've heard this criticism. Don't you worry. I deal with them hand in hand, and I can speak freely and confidently saying they're going to fix them. He goes on to say, everything they do is a bit of the time pie, if you will. We all know this, right? Resources are resources. Whether you're building a game or building a pizza, you've got so much time to do it before you've got to either get it in the oven or get it out to the customer. So the response was, what year did franchise get major love? In 2018, he says this year, gameplay got a major overhaul, but franchise got the start. This is what I want to focus on. Franchise got the start of a new progression system, a new user interface. This was the year, you remember, they did the full motion videos in the background, and they did the player progressions. He responds, franchise did not get major love this year in my eyes. And I think that's so telling. Because some of the things they do, not all gamers are going to appreciate. The same way Mills didn't appreciate me putting out my view count, others appreciated it. The same way he may look at it and say, hey, franchise got these full motion videos in the background. It's an immersion factor. You get to watch your coach. You get to look at the owners. You get to look at changing pictures in the background when you dress your player up, okay? Things I don't care about, right? But things he may. To him, that may be a major overhaul. To him, that was the start of a new progression system. Player traits. All the development and time that goes into that obviously I don't see got built upon. So now here we are, 2 years later. Little bit shy, literally, of 2 exact years, believe it or not. 2 months shy of 2 years. You have a guy that was sitting here telling a community member, hey, listen, franchise mode got overhauled this year. They put in the Stardust and pieces. Don't you worry, they're going to build it going forward. Right? I think we can all agree that that's the intent of the message here. Got the start of a new progression system and interface. And then now that same person 2 years later is literally calling EA out and saying, hey, listen, are you paying attention to what's going on in our community? Do you see and do you understand that gamers aren't interested in your product to the point that the creators don't utilize it because they don't find enjoyment in it, and your community would rather watch an older game because of the depth and the replay value? I think that's really one of the things that's always bothered me recently about franchise mode is you are constantly reminded how bad it is, right? Constantly. Whether it's salary cap, team building, player progression, you get 2 or 3 years in, and rather than looking at a game and saying, man, this is really deep, I enjoy this experience, I feel like I'm playing against different teams, I feel like teams are growing and evolving and adapting, instead you just get reminded, hey, these teams are programmed awfully. The logic in this game is atrocious. Why does this team have 4 right ends? I just did a video on this. Why did they sign a cornerback when they could have drafted one in the first round? So to see this change, there's a tangible momentum shift going on in our community. When you have people that were once praised as Madden supporters, that literally worked hand in hand with EA, that were game changer candidates, or in the program itself, that are now willing to make that commitment, to make that step and say, you know what? It's no longer about looking in the mirror with EA Sports. It's no longer about looking and saying, where is the game at? It's about looking where the community is. Because in many cases, we've moved on from Madden. We've moved on from Madden. I make content with Maximum Football for my Dynasty mode. Other gamers use NCAA 14. What we're not doing is using Madden. Because you have to try to make Madden look good when you create a franchise mode in that game. You have to excuse away issues that game has in terms of team building. You can't have an enjoyable experience. And I think this just shows you proof positive that it's catching up across the board. For some people, it took longer than others. But the global understanding of how far behind EA is and the glaring omissions that it has in its game and just getting you to play it from one day to the next are mounting. I mean, I can confidently say today the same thing I said 5 years ago. If you're not a MUT gamer, then EA doesn't have a whole lot to offer you. Now, I guess I have to say the caveat of if you're not a MUT gamer or you don't like Superstar KO mode, EA doesn't have a lot to offer you. EA has tailored its game the past number of years to ensuring that the user plays it a shorter period of time. We're going to give you little tasks in Madden Ultimate Team. We're gonna let you grind out these solos. We're going to give you little tasks, and then you're going to complete them. Pass for 100 yards. You're not playing a full game. Because they know a full game makes someone want to turn the game off. A full game makes you realize how bad it is. But if you can break it down in little nuggets, get 2 tackles, get 5 sacks, whatever you got to do. If you can break it down into little nuggets, then it's not all that bad. You don't get overwhelmed by the garbage, right? I think that's really where EA is, and I think this is a perfect statement to show you guys in just 2 years how far others see where this game wanted to go and never got. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking it out, and you know I will be back in the week with more commentary.